Okay, now talk about timeline. Okay, so Gundam dia ada dua timeline. So the main timeline we call the Universal Century. Nanti I masuk apa benda Universal Century, and then the alternative timelines where you have all your Double O, Seed dan Seed Destiny,
IDO.
Gundam Wing is the Gundam yang memperkenalkan Gundam kepada West. Sebab
because they started to show it in America for the first time was Wing kan.
Yeah.
What is Universal Century is about is macam dia punya cerita asal Universal Century ni. Universal Century ni aku tak ingat ada exact time, tahun Anno Domini 2000 something, tapi it's about the earth become very populated, 9 billion dah tak larat dah. So dia tubuh Earth Federation, which is you imagine kalau UN tu ada kuasa otonomi jadi satu negara lah. So you tak kisah sangat pasal US apa semua. So the Earth Federation kata okay, let's make a program untuk since kita boleh buat penempatan dekat bulan, so kita buatlah stesen which we call sites. Ada 7 sites semua, site 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gitulah.
Site 7.
Site 7. So human boleh hidup dekat koloni yang akan selepas lah. But something happen in UC 001 where di mana ada terrorist attack bomb, and the first Earth Federation Prime Minister was killed, and benda ni akan di-reflect balik dalam Unicorn Gundam.
So this was the series that I watched after IBO, and then I got bored.
Sebab you didn't faham dia punya tu.
Exactly. That's why. Syaz pun cakap jangan tengok UC dulu.
That's me too.
Jangan tengok UC dulu.
Betul. Because I tengok UC dulu kan. Of course lah, the action, menarik, animation was great. But
robot cantik.
Yang dia orang ni apa semua kan. But then what I do is I start balik ikut dia punya turutan from
dia punya timeline
79 sampai Zeta, Double Zeta, Charge Counter Attack. Lepas tu kita tengok balik UC,
then Hathaway. Technically my first Gundam Gundam series was actually Hathaway because it released right on my birthday. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a sign that maybe I should watch this. So I watched it for like 20 minutes and then I was like, I have no idea what it is. So my friend told me to go back all the way to this 0079. You see 0079? So I was like, are you sure this is where I should start? You know what? Let's start with the origin. So I'm like, okay, let's start with the origin, and then I went back to the.
Is the origin yang macam cerita yang not tahun 79, tapi it is made much later.
Prequel.
Animation dia cantik lagi kan?
Yeah, because it was released in 2013 or 14.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And
the best origin tu dia cerita Mobile Suit Development pasal Char.
Yes. So you get to understand.
You kena go through the 0079 walaupun animation ketinggalan apa semua. But after that you can go to origin, you faham who are these characters apa semua. And then you boleh start 0083 Stardust Memory, you tahu pasal Titans. Then boleh masuk. And then you boleh masuk Zeta, orang kata Zeta was the best punya tu. And then Double Zeta ni sebab tiba-tiba dia jadi
Double Zeta boleh ni.
Kalau nak layan cepat je.
Layan je.
Charge Counter Attack. And then baru you masuk UC Unicorn. And then you boleh masuk Mati.
Yes, baru boleh masuk Bafti. Sure.
Aku sebenarnya disagree with the timeline tu. For a completely new viewer kan, I would actually recommend start dengan the 0083 because 0083 is a self-contained 13 episodes which you tak tahu apa benda pun pasal mecha. You just tiba-tiba introduce there's this new pilot, kita punya army base dengan ada 2 robot besar dah kena under attack by orang yang jahat. So it's like, oh okay. Then after that bila dah tu, so the enemy punya pilot will take one of them, the hero will take one of them. So it becomes a very straightforward mecha punya show where you have clear small scale engagement and you tak ada macam 100 tahun yang lalu ceritanya macam ni, and then after that another 50 years ago cerita dia macam ni, macam
so you're saying that maksudnya kalau macam it will be like a whole new perspective if I were to watch from 83 Stardust Memory
Stardust Memories.
I mean kebetulan that was that's my gateway into Gundam lah. But
Stardust Memory tu function dia untuk introducekan Titans.
So the fact that aku dah watch a few of them, and the fact that aku tak tengok Zeta and Double Zeta and still can understand Char's counter attack, and means that there are certain parts yang you boleh skip tau, because in the end the UC is dia punya characterization of dia ada two key points. One is the Gundam itself and the various iterations of the Gundam. Kedua is the ZEON punya principality. And this dia punya figurehead ada dua, is Amuro dengan Shah Sembang. So their story is the main part of the entire timeline until Shah counter attack. So as long as you watch any of that in any order up to Shah counter attack, you takkan confused tau. But because dia punya masalahnya is that 0079 was very old. In today punya time, kau tengok art style tu kau akan pening. Zeta dengan Double Zeta susah nak cari unless you cari sumber-sumber alternatif. Hathaway is after the fact, after Shah counter attack, and they assume kau dah tahu tau. So aku macam like, wah matilah macam ni. Aku yang tengok yang dia tu pening, orang yang first tengok macam like,
I first watched it and I was like clueless. Nothing makes sense.
Like best, tapi like, why should I care about
you?
You
can't really enjoy it.
Kau ni bila ke baik? Kau siapa? So like, it tak boleh because it is too far ahead in the timeline, and you dah left the tragic saga of a budak dari umur 16 tahun to the point dia dah jadi adult, dah boleh berlawan dengan a leader of an entire faction, which is not actually a villain punya faction.
No,
they were using force in the wrong way. But that is what a lot of military punya wars are pretty much like lah. So adakah they were really wrong or were they right? Because they had a cause which can be justified. Cuma bila they go brutal punya route, so orang kata ni lah orang jahat guna violence and all that. But if you look at it, the reason why orang kat Jepun until today will never be able to fully agree who was the more righteous of the two, Shah and Amuro, is the fact that they both had valid reasons, and they were both in factions which were not clear cut black or white. Dua-dua pun kelapu. So that was the thing when people realised what the story was about. That's when all the fans started, getting hyped about it lah. That's when they started getting more viewers, and people were like, oh ni bukan macam Monster of the Week this is actual storyline. Orang they went on a full journey. There are people who died and they were fighting for a full cause instead of just Monster of the Week.
Benda tu sebenarnya daripada 0079 lagi sebenarnya. Dia portray Federation pun macam asshole juga.
Yeah, sure.
Dia
It's actually the legit questions when I started watching Hathaway for the whole 20 minutes. I was like, because it's in our nature when we want to enjoy the series, we want to determine who's right, who's wrong, who do I want to root for. And then I was watching with my younger niece and nephew. So they were like, auntie, kita nak tengok ni siapa yang jahat. Because the thing is, when it's not. I think it's a bit stereotypical sounded when I said it's because most of Sabahan, the ones I know, the one that I met at within our Gunpla community, they were like, if there's a 10, 9 of them root for Zaku. So I was like, oh, because Zaku is not a bad guy. Because when you look back into the origins, they were like, Shah has a legitimate reason to fight for his cause. And then of course lah, Malamak dia tak menghalalkan cara. So
Yalah,
that's why it's very this is a very questions that ask every season, like until IBO, but I keep still asking the same thing.
This is the difference between the super robot genres where it's very clear
lawan alien.
jahat,
Alien.
Earth baik. So Gundam yes, dia cuba model it as a in real punya, mungkin the major inspiration is the World War II lah kan, macam uniform
Because kita
ZEON,
minat background
Actually bukan
uniform
macam
ZEON tu
when
macam Nazis.
and then lagi tu pun macam Gundam pun biasa dia mula-mula start in 1979, and you have to bear in mind the Vietnam War just ended 4 years before. So dalam psyche penonton, orang-orang kat dunia ni, peperangan masih fresh. Kemungkinan barangkali yang tu lah yang menyebabkan orang kata why sekarang the so-called robot genre, mecha genre tengah menggudum kan, orang tak tengok sangat.
The beza antara UC dengan AC ni is the fact that UC follows the central original timeline that has Amuro dengan Sharp. Tapi the AC, which is meant to be a side project, ended up becoming bigger than the UC in terms of volume. To be honest kan, Wish for Mercury is actually a good intro point. Percaya tak percaya? Kita boleh sembang. But
I definitely would agree.
Kalau somebody yang nak tengok a light introduction to what a Gundam is or can be, the Bill Fighters punya series is very nice. Sebab dia tak ada ikut cerita berat-berat, macam lah, ini perang antara 10 penjuru, lepas tu 3 faction tak bersalah, 4 ni kelabu, 3 tu it is macam superhero shonen style type of show. You akan ada ni team hero, budak-budak building gunpla that dia akan guna as mecha in a simulated virtual world.
Dia macam Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, dia macam Yu-Gi-Oh. So you have all the classic trope lah. Ni akan jadi my rival, kita akan bersama-sama jadi hebat. Then kita berjanji jumpa di final tapi tiba-tiba tak show up. Kenapa dia tak show up? Sebab dikalahkan oleh a new character who is going to be top 4 in the future. So it's a very nice macam high school punya style of story telling. So once you dah biasa with the concept of mecha piloting, then you boleh sebab pada tu kalau you tak minat the mecha, you tak akan minat any of the Gundam show. Trust me. Sebab a majority of the show involves the mecha itself. So kalau macam like kalau you tengok Transformers tapi you tak suka the robots, then like tak tengok bro. You bawa masa je. This case the suits are important. Then the story you boleh pilih. Tapi masa pandemic tu kan, was it just before the pandemic, I mean like ada sangkut dengan tak boleh pergi mana kan. Mari kita tengok seat. Best lah juga seat ni kan. Kenapa like all the friends tu tak buat seat?
My friends are coming for me because I haven't watched seat.
Okay, seat for me very special because kata Gundam Wing was the Gundam yang introduced to the West. Seat masa tu kan, if you have no experience Gundam apa semua, you layan je. If actually macam dia Seed punya plot bit by bit tu dia really replicate the 0079 pasal koloni kena serang and then macam you ada ship and then you nak bawa Gundam tu ke bumi and then masuk perang apa semua. Seed Destiny dia tiru Zeta.
I ni tak kisah universe mana. If I like the show, I will watch. So that's why bila orang gaduh pasal yang ni terbagus, yang terbagus, I like
As long as you give me a good story, tak apa.
Itulah kan, I macam duk tepi je lah. Biarlah korang gaduh.
Thunderbolt pun bagus.
Thunderbolt best. Wait, Thunderbolt kan, if you think 0079 punya timeline was vicious, the Thunderbolt series, dia punya they will show you truly tau what is war is hell tau.
Yes.
Kau tak sempat kenal karakter dia dah mati episode kedua. Bukan dia hero ke? Dah mati. Lepas tu, okay, what you gonna do here? Okay, region ni sangat berbahaya, kita akan hantar 100 orang. Baru like 10 saat, they were showing like 100 suits going through dengan thunderstormnya, dengan artillery fire dah 20 suits mati. Macam like, wow, this is horrible. Which is, it conveyed the war is hell punya scenario better than the entire O punya ni. Sebab dalam series tu, the Gundam pilot was the villain. Kau percaya tak?
Yes.
Kan, Mizi kan? You agree kan? The Gundam pilot was the villain.
Tapi dia cara dia thinking tu lah macam semua apa ZEON jahat. ZEON sanggup potong amputate tangan pilot apa Zaku tu semata-mata nak suruh macam ada connection
To the robot itself.
connection. So dia boleh control robot tu macam boleh control robot tu better.
So meaning that the mobile suit is actually an extended limb to the pilot.
Yeah.
It's a bit like IBO.
Yeah.
But
IBO just macam tulang belakang Alia Vajana tu.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that name. I love that name. Since you were there, ada your friend tanya apa mana dia? Ui, banyak soalan tanya. Kalau cerita Barbatos recommended ke? I think it's quite a good one. I happened to encounter it because they were showing it on Crunchyroll and I was thinking, oh, it's a Gundam. Tengoklah. Tapi masa tu lah baru realise that this is not just a kelakar-kelakar thing. It's orang mati lah. They die.
Selain Bill Fighters, Gundam punya shows banyak orang mati. Okay, basically kalau you pernah tengok other Gundam punya shows, Barbatos is like a low technology level Gundam punya tangan.
Dia tak ada beam weapon.
Ada beam weapon? Ada kan? It's literally I will club you to death. Dengan machine gun pun ada, dengan entah apa benda, mechanical tools pun ada, because teknologi dah mundur sikit.
Ada.